New reaction to a private moment caught between two Washington power brokers talking about Medicare reform. Yesterday on America Live, we played for you this unguarded exchange between former President Bill Clinton and Republican House Budget Committee Chairman Paul Ryan. The former president acknowledged the Democrats should be getting behind efforts to reform Medicare.
I'm glad we won this race in New York, but I hope the Democrats don't use it as an excuse to do nothing.
My guess is it's going to sink into paralysis is what's going to happen. And you know the math. I mean, it's just we knew we were putting ourselves out there, but you got to start this. You got to get out there. You got to get this thing moving.
And the numbers back Ryan up. The government spent $523 billion last year on the 47.5 million people covered by Medicare. Estimates say the Medicare Trust Fund will run dry in 13 years. So let's talk about how to solve it. Democratic strategist Dan Gerstein is president of Gotham Ghostwriters, and syndicated radio host Jason Lewis is of The Jason Lewis Show. Gentlemen, welcome to you both.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
All right, Dan, I want to start with you. Alan Combs was just on. He said the Ryan plan will decimate Medicare, but everybody acknowledges something has to be done. How is the Ryan plan unworkable for you?
Well, it's unworkable because it would fundamentally change and really obliterate Medicare as we know it. And that's unacceptable to Democrats. So I think it's the bad policy, but even worse, it was done in a very partisan way, in a way that we knew was going to get no Democratic support, which is essential to any kind of restructuring of Medicare or Social Security for that matter, to pass in Congress and to get credibility with the American people. That's why I think I agree with Paul on the diagnosis. We have to do something, and I think there are a lot of Democrats who want to use this for political advantage to do nothing. That's wrong, and I think that's what President Clinton was trying to get at. But at the same time, the prescription, Paul Ryan's prescription, is dead on arrival, and we have to start kind of talking and trying to come up with a bipartisan solution.
All right, Jason, is that possible, though? Right now, it's very heated. It's very partisan, this conversation in Washington. So is Paul Ryan to be blamed for putting out something that a lot of people think, can't get past Capitol Hill, can't get past the White House? But what have the Democrats offered?
Well, that's the big thing. What have the Democrats offered? I think they want to demagogue the issue for electoral gain. I think Bill Clinton even recognizes that. First of all, the Ryan plan doesn't touch people 55 and older. They stay on the same system. Second of all, you're younger than that. In order to save the system, you're not going to have Medicare. The trustees say it's the trust fund is exhausted in 13 years. It's already spending more money than it's taking in right now. So you either reform the system to make certain it's available, or you end up rationing care. And so what Ryan proposes is for people 55 and younger is to simply get a $15,000 stipend, which, by the way, is more than the amount that under the president's health care plan he plans to spend on Medicare per beneficiary. But the bottom line is the Democrats have offered nothing. I think this is all politics. Let's see the plan.
Shannon,
then we can have a real debate.
Let me answer your question directly. Yes, this is possible,
Sure.
and we know that from the Deficit Commission that Alan Simpson and Erskine Bowles led. They came up with a bipartisan solution that got a lot of bipartisan buy-in and was tailor-made to pass Congress and actually do something, not just about Medicare, but the long-term deficit and debt problem. The problem
and
is
Harry
the
Reid
Republican.
will
Let me finish.
Let's let Dan finish.
The Republicans rejected any of the tax increases that were necessary in that plan to get bipartisan buy-in, and President Obama submarined the plan from almost the beginning and didn't take the opportunity to present that as the foundation for a bipartisan plan. Both sides don't want a solution. They want the political advantage. And this is why our country's in big trouble, as we've been having this gamesmanship for so long, and both parties can't break out of it.
Jason, do you think that's the case? I mean, it's sad if that's the truth. Is that just a cynical, maybe skeptical view, or is Washington really that bad now?
The Deficit Commission, well, it is pretty bad right now, and this is why the country's going broke. We can't muster the courage to tackle entitlements. And I agree with you, the Deficit Commission had a number of good ideas, but the problem with taxing our way out of Medicare is that it's a $37 trillion unfunded liability. You'd have to raise income taxes, for example, 28% to solve that
but Jason,
problem.
I'm not suggesting taxing our way out of Medicare.
Let me finish now. Let me finish. The president already has a Medicare surtax charge in Obamacare. That's the plan. We've already got a 2.9% payroll tax that goes unlimited all to the richest of the rich, and we still can't bail our way out of that. So you're not going to do it by raising more revenue. You've got to get a handle on costs, and the Democrats have not offered anything to get a handle on costs except perhaps rationing through something called the Independent Payment Advisory Board, which is set up in 2014 to make certain Medicare spending doesn't go faster than inflation. Well, what's their plan? They're going to start denying payments.
But
well,
I got to tell you,
that panel is a whole nother debate, gentlemen. We got to leave it there for
Okay.
today. We're glad that you played nice and you're both still in your seats at the end of the debate. Thanks for sticking around to you both.
Have a good weekend.
You bet.
You too.